I welcome my dear friend Mike Hancock here, the person who was responsible for me coming into this training program. And we are on board Royal Caribbean. At the moment, we are at Fukuoka in Japan. It's a very interesting fourth day that we are having today on this training session. And one of the best admirers that I love to learn from is my dear friend Mike Hancock from New Zealand, who has seen, I think, who's the person who has seen the maximum number of countries on the face of the planet Earth. And I believe that traveling is the best mode of learning. So with him on a learning spree all the time, he becomes a good trainer as well. So we are really enjoying our time with him. And I would like to ask Mike that what drives you and what pleasure do you get from training so many entrepreneurs like me from various parts of the world?
That's an awesome question. Thank you so much. I think what drives me is that I just love people, and the why I do it is because what I stand for. Wow, I've got goosebumps. Look at that. Look what you did to me. You always get goosebumps when you're speaking the truth. Is that why I do it is that most people die without ever reaching anywhere near their full potential in life. And that's such a shame because we have so much untapped potential. Even you, who's such a successful person, has untapped potential, as do I. So what I try to do is just find little things in people that trigger their potential so that they have what we call a little shift, a positive shift, and they engage their life in a different way. So just before we shot this, you said that you're really enjoying Don Tolman on this cruise and the teachings that he had.
Yes.
And that's the first time you've seen him, correct?
Seen it. That's right.
Yeah. And this is the thing, is that Don's message is just so powerful, is that already I see from people are saying, and by the way, he says, and you people in India would love this, he says, don't eat meat, just vegetables. So already I've seen on this trip where people are saying no to the meat as it comes out, and they're having just vegetables.
The learning is fast.
As a matter of fact, after his session today, when I went to lunch, nearly everybody was eating salad. So this is why I do what I do.
Mike, one very interesting question I would like to ask you is almost 4.5 years back, when I first met Mike, I learned the best concept of life, that is profiling people, where I learned that there are 8 profiles of people. And believe me, Mike, after learning that formula, my business life has transformed. I've become a better businessman. Yep. Because I've started profiling people, I've started creating teams of the people in my mind, and I'm sure it's going to do a lot of good to all the people who come across this formula. Can you share some more views on profiling, the creator, trader, supporter, star, some insights into that?
Sure.
And how will it help entrepreneurs?
Well, I do exactly what you do, Rajesh. I don't do anything now that's not based on the profiling. So firstly, if I'm looking to employ somebody new in any of my businesses, now this hand is looking for the skills and abilities that they have from their profession, and this hand is looking at their profile. And if they've got this many skills and they're not the right profile, they don't get hired. Because ultimately they'll fail because you'll be putting them in the wrong job. And it doesn't matter how much skill and training they have. So here's a little snapshot for those of you that will be seeing profiling for the first time. It's based on a 5,000-year-old book. It's called the I Ching, the Book of Changes. And we know that there are people who are very extroverted who sit over here, and people who are more introverted who sit over this side. We know that there are people who are more intuitive. In other words, they just sense things up here, and people who are more feeling down here. They just feel things. They're more grounded, like heaven and like earth. So this allows us to have 8 different profiles. Now I'll start with my profile because that's the most fun, of course, for me. I'm extroverted, as you may be able to tell, but I'm also up here. So in a square, I'm in this corner right up here. That's called a star profile. Star profiles are very good at branding. They're very good at funding things. They're very good at being thrown into situations, just like this interview and being able to contribute. Then sitting beneath the star profile here, we have somebody who's a supporter profile. So
I'm a supporter.
Ah, see? And this is the thing about supporters, is that if you look at the smile, supporters are such warm, friendly people, but they're also the best leaders. They are the absolute best leaders. So a lot of the best leaders in the world are supporter profiles. And it doesn't surprise me that you are a supporter profile. Then sitting down the bottom there, still in the extroverted stage, we have deal makers. Deal makers are great at negotiation. So supporters too, we all have little aspects of this. Great at negotiation,
great at understanding people and putting deals together, putting people together. Now we're going to come around right in the bottom in the middle. And this person here is a trader profile. What they love is buying and selling and making a margin on every trade that they do. Now, whether that trade is like a commodities trade or whether that trade is simply selling their time for money in their chosen profession, that's what they do best. We come over this side now, we're getting to the more introverted side. So down the bottom next to the trader and our deal makers over here, we have our accumulator. Now, our accumulator literally does that. They literally accumulate things. Often we can tell them because they have collections and piles of stuff hanging around. But they have got the deepest market knowledge of all of the profiles. Market knowledge for me, not so important. For the accumulator, highly important. They're my direct opposite. Sitting above the accumulator in the middle on the introverted side, we have somebody called a Lord profile. And Lords, you definitely need them in business because these people are the numbers people. They work with the systems. They do everything methodically. They sit behind the scenes and they make sure that your business operates from the back while the people like yourself, Rajesh, out here are leading from the front.
Can you give me some examples about Lord?
Yeah, absolutely.
Some successful people who are Lords?
Well, John Paul Getty, Rockefeller, Lakshmi Mittal is a very successful Lord profile. Lords tend to not need to own things to make money. They can generally make money from renting things.
Okay.
So, for instance, a great business for a Lord is a hire car firm. But then, when that might be a baby Lord business, then they might go to the next level up and they might have a trucking firm. Because, of course, you can rent trucks for a lot longer you can rent cars. And then the classic Lord, which is right where we are now, is they own a shipping company. Because, of
like
course,
Royal Caribbean.
Royal Caribbean. You rent the ships for many, many years. So then we move to our mechanic profile, which sits up the top here. And a mechanic builds systems. They're very innovative and they love to build systems. They're great at franchising and licensing things. They're great at seeing opportunities to do that, like Ray Kroc did with McDonald's.
That's right. Fantastic.
Exactly. And our last profile, which sits right up the top in the middle, is the creator profile. It's a very important profile because nothing happens in business unless these guys get involved. These are the ideas people. These are the people that keep coming up with the idea of this, idea of that. They can tend to just start things and not finish them, but when you get a great creator who builds a team around them to follow through, you get the most magnificent team. So when you're putting your team together, folks, look at your own profile and then make sure you get balance in your team.
Fantastic, Mike. That was great. That is what drives me today because I try to select people of the right profiles. So in totality, there are 8 profiles: the creator, the star, the supporter, the trader, the accumulator, the Lord, and the mechanic. 7 profiles. Which did I miss? Deal maker. I missed out the deal maker. So 8 profiles. You make a proper team, and for sure you will be very successful in whatever you do. Mike, we are really very thankful to you for organizing this trip together where people from different countries, successful entrepreneurs from different countries are not only entrepreneurs are together on the ship, but also a very interesting selection of trainers on various subjects like the environment, like your healthcare, like yourself, like Dave Rogers who speaks on how to become a more successful entrepreneur. So we really thank you on this exclusive trip on the cruise liner, which is a blend of pleasure and learning together. Thanks a lot, Mike. And one promise from me and my friends from India is we will be on every trip that you organize and make sure that we learn more and more so that we can become better businessmen, better entrepreneurs, and give back to the society and develop the society as a whole. Ultimately, business is about making other people's life easy, and by you making our lives easy, we will pass it on to our consumers to make their life easier. So thanks a lot, Mike, and we'll be in touch and we'll keep shooting you with all this wise words of wisdom, and make sure that all our friends who watch this YouTube clipping might learn a thing or two which can benefit them. Thank you, Mike. Thank you.